Our next tune is another one from 1925. It's Sweet Georgia Brown. And if you're of a certain age, you associate this with the Harlem Globetrotters, who used it as their theme song, and they would do all kinds of crazy basketball feats while the song was playing. I'll give you a version, my version of it. No bellmaid has got a shade on, sweet Georgia Brown. Two left feet, oh so neat that sweet Georgia Brown. They all sigh and want to die when she comes around. I'll tell you just why. You know I don't lie, not much. It's been said she knocks 'em dead when she comes to town. Since she came, why it's a shame how she mows 'em down. Fellas that she can't get are fellas that she ain't met. Georgia named her, Georgia claimed her, sweet Georgia Brown. Okay, so let's look at the chords in Sweet Georgia Brown. I mean, most of them are familiar. There's F, it's in the key of F, but it starts on this D7th chord. I actually played a D shape here because I needed that. I wanted to have that open string. And then I went up to this D here, and then back to the other one. On the G7th, it's a G9th for some time. Sometimes you play it with that first string open, and that's a G9. And then I reached up here for a single note. And then you've got a regular C6 and C. And C7th, it goes to F. And then, okay, then it starts to repeat. You do all that stuff on the D chord. And G7th, and then at the part that's different at the end goes to a D minor, to a A7th, and back and forth, and then the rest of it is regular chords. And you've got this D up here, and so on. So those are the chords. Now, this is not an AABA tune like the other one. It's a different format that a lot of the old songs have. I've never heard a name for it. But it's a 32-bar tune, and you play the first 16 bars, and that's the first statement. And the next 16 bars, you start to repeat. You do the first 8 bars all over again. But then the last 8 bars is something different. Different melody, different chords. So that's the description of thousands of pop tunes that aren't AABA kind of tunes. But there is that repetition, and it's good to know that because it makes your work simpler when you're memorizing a tune. To know that a whole section of it is repeated. So let's do the same thing we did before. Just play the melody and the chords, but we're not strumming chords. We're just making the chord shapes with our left hand. Remember, this is the first way to practice the tune is just by strumming it and singing it. And the next way is to play the melody notes. So we're on the D chord, and you have to lift your pinky up for that. Bend down to get that, and then this D chord, and all those melody notes are in the chord. Then on the G9, and here's that note, the usual note in a G7th, and then reach up here, and then on the C, again that's really a C6th, and then regular C. Notice how so many notes are in the chord. Then you go to F, and then on the E and the A7th, then it starts to repeat all that stuff we already did. And so all repeat. Now here comes the new part on the D minor to to the A7th. Again, all those melody notes are in the chord, so that'll make it easy to add some strums. Now we're on the back to the F, up to the D, and then G7, C, F, and that's a circle of fifths type of tune when you're going from the D7 to the G to the. And if you don't know about the circle of fifths, I have a great lesson with the guitar workshop videos series called Understanding Chord Progressions, and there's one for ukulele, so good thing to look into. Because if you understand how these progressions work, it sure makes it easier to learn them. All right, so now we're going to add some strumming and chords to the tune, and I'll do it really slowly. And I guess this will be the version that is written out for you to study and try to learn. Notice there that you can add the strums in different places, any place where there's a chord happening. So when my repeat of the first 8 bars in the second section of the tune, I might have done some strums in a different place, but it doesn't matter. Any place you can get it in. The point is that you have to signal the chord. You have to express the chord at some point. And for that reason, you might not play the tune exactly the same way twice, and that's okay.